All right, let's jump right into this. Today we're going to explore a really powerful parable, the story of how an ancient, frozen truth gets absolutely shattered by a new, life-affirming sun. This is the story of the sunlit breaking. So to really get this, you have to understand the world we're stepping into. The dominant way of thinking at the time, it wasn't just a set of beliefs. The source material calls it a long illness of the soul. It was this tradition that had found a strange, almost morbid pleasure in weakness, and had spent its time accusing life itself of being broken.
So a long illness, think of it like this: a vast, high, frozen plateau. This was the world of the Pharisees. They were living on what our sources call ice sheets of ancient, life-denying values, where being rigid and unmoving was somehow mistaken for being pious.
And what were the symptoms of this soul sickness? Well, it was a profound fear of life itself. They praised their own rigidity, calling it piety. They found this weird morbid pleasure in weakness and pity, and they were terrified of a spirit that was actually joyful, healthy, and free. So they guarded these ancient, life-denying values with everything they had.
And then, into this cold, rigid world, walks someone completely different, the Nazarene. But here's the thing, he doesn't show up as a victim or some patient needing a cure. No, he's what's called a convalescent. He's already beaten the very sickness that has a death grip on everyone else. He is the great yes-sayer.
And this is so important. His authority, his power, it doesn't come from being perfect or untouched by suffering. It comes directly from having overcome it. He's looked into that monster of disgust, as the text says, and he came out the other side with this incredibly powerful will to live. That's the source of his strength.
And right there, you see the massive clash of worldviews. On one side, you have the accusers, right? They're all about denying life, looking for some supernatural pat on the back for their suffering. And on the other, you have the yes-sayer, who's basically heralding a great spiritual thawing, an embrace of life as it is, ugly bits and all. It's the rigid past versus a joyful, fluid future.
So how does he deal with this all-pervasive sickness? Does he argue? Does he point fingers? Nope. He offers something totally new. A new prescription for the soul that makes their whole way of thinking just obsolete.
The first ingredient in this prescription is a concept called amor fati. It literally means love of fate. See, the Nazarene isn't interested in waging war on what's ugly or difficult. He's not even going to waste his breath accusing his own accusers. He does something way more radical. Now, let's be super clear about what amor fati is. This is not about just gritting your teeth and putting up with things. Not at all. It's an active, even joyous embrace of everything that happens to you. The good, the bad, the painful. Seeing it all as a necessary part of who you are, and then transforming it into strength.
I mean, just listen to this. I do not want to accuse. I do not even want to accuse the accusers. The formula of greatness is not to merely bear what is necessary, but to love it. It's this incredible shift from resentment to a powerful, unconditional yes to all of life.
Okay, so that's the internal part, the love of fate. The second principle is how you take that internal power and let it radiate outwards. It's the new commandment.
And this isn't some polite suggestion to be nice. It's a whole new standard. Love one another as I have loved you. It's described as this divine, self-sacrificial love, like a burning torch being passed from one person to the next. It becomes the one unmistakable sign that you're part of this new way of living.
All right, so we've got these incredible ideas. But how do you make them stick? How do you make them unforgettable? That brings us to the climax of the story, the final remembrance act. This is where it all becomes real, tangible.
Let's break this down step by step. First, he takes bread and says, "This is my body." Boom! Right there, he just shatters that old idea that the body, the flesh, is something to be rejected. He's affirming the physical world. Then he takes the cup, calls it a New Testament, and turns the whole thing into this lasting promise, a new covenant.
And what this act does is revolutionary. It completely flips the script on suffering. It's no longer about becoming a martyr. No, it's about turning that crucible of pain, as the text says, into a forge of creativity. Suffering becomes fuel for a joyful, free spirit. You see, it's a total revolution. True nobility isn't something you get from dusty old scrolls or your family name. It's something that grows inside you, like a seed planted in the heart, and it's nourished by this selfless, active love. And all of this leads us to the grand finale, the sunlit breaking. This is that moment of profound transformation, where all the heavy, life-denying burdens just melt away.
The central metaphor here is just perfect. Imagine a frozen lake. That solid, unyielding ice is the old law, the old truth. It's rigid, it's predictable, but then this new sun comes out, the warmth of this new way of thinking, and it shatters the ice, revealing the deep, living water of active love and amor fati that was trapped underneath.
It's this incredible spiritual thawing, and the source material even links it to the story of Saint Januarius, whose dried blood is said to miraculously turn to liquid. But the miracle here isn't some supernatural event. It's the miracle of a frozen spirit liquefying, turning into this vibrant, flowing yes to the future. It's a complete psychological rebirth.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's really an instruction, isn't it? It's a call to become the sovereign artist of your own life. To stop blaming, to stop wishing things were different, and to just say yes to life, exactly as it is, in all its recurring, beautiful necessity.
And that, of course, leaves us with a pretty big question for ourselves, doesn't it? In our own lives, with all the rules and expectations we live under, what are the frozen truths just waiting for a sunlit breaking? What's waiting to be thought out so that life can really start to flow?